Good morning, good morning. Audio good? Everybody hear me? You know, D Gibbs had to get that coffee right. Yusef, good morning. Mitch, Ryan, what's up, what's up, what's up? Start here in about 60 seconds. Lots of news going on this morning. We got about an hour window from this point. Well, actually, in about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, it'll be safe to trade anything GBP again. And then we got about an hour window before very important red folder USD news. So we got a small time window to trade, that hour window, and then after USD news comes out, we'll be free to go. But this morning, as far as the stream goes, we got about an hour worth of setups to look at, and then depending on what news does with USD, we'll start to look at setups in the chat, in the Telegram chat, after the USD news comes out. Ooh. You guys can hear me, correct? Nobody confirmed in the chat, so it may be just D Gibbs talking to D Gibbs. Perfect. All right, let's jump in. Cool. All right, forexfactory.com. You guys know the drill. GBP right now. Do not trade anything with GBP in it. As you can see, 3 red folders, 2 orange folders all at one time. 6 minutes ago, so usually the first 20 minutes after, to be safe, don't touch anything GBP. So price is probably drastically about to change on anything that has GBP in it. With anything with USD could get affected as well, just because GBP is also another major currency that we look at on a regular basis, as you guys know. So as for this moment right now, do not get in any trades. If you're in GBP trades and you're at break even, close your trade out, just so you don't get way stopped out. So if you're in anything GBP right now, Go ahead, pull that trade. Even if you're negative, you don't want to go way negative. So pull that trade and get ready for more setups to come, because I mean, one trade, you don't want that to ruin your whole day. So if you're break even on any trades GBP right now, go ahead, pull out of that thing. Don't hurt your feelings and just wait it out. So we got about 13 minutes, 13 to 15 minutes, whatever you prefer, before I would look at anything GBP again, just to see what it does. We'll take a look at it, but most likely it's going to start going crazy. And then at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, that's a little over, and that's about an hour and 20 minutes from now, we got USD news. And then after that, you're clear to look at pretty much anything, because it's just yellow folders for the rest of the day. So we will look at some USD pairs right now. Again, I commented in the chat that gold, it was at like a strong resistance point, downtrend separation from our 75 EMA. So ideally the best setups would be sales, but you know how gold works, it could skyrocket up. It is at a resistance point on the hour, the 4 hour, just crossed over your EMA on the 30-minute, but it is at this resistance point right here. The reason this is a resistance point right here, let's zoom out to the hour. You see all these long rejection wicks right here, rejection all on this right here, rejection, big wick right here, rejection across the board right here, and more rejection in this area as well. So that is why from top to bottom, when those wicks are hitting from bottom, top, stuff like that, that's usually a strong zone in there on the higher time frames. So this currently, because price is coming from the downside, this is your resistance, this is your ceiling, this is your support, this is your floor. So at this moment, the resistance is being tested again. It's kind of like a slight M pattern. If I don't know if you guys can see this or not, it's kind of like a slight M pattern in there, but it also looks like a just regular retest in that zone. Yeah, that's not a clean enough M to where I would mess with it. Let's see. There we go. But it is nonetheless at resistance. Now, as far as if you want to trade this pair at resistance, you want to trade that rejection, I mean, you could enter right now, or you could wait for a little bit more push to the downside. These are the zones I have. It's about a little over 40 pips in there, from this resistance to this next support. So you could enter anywhere on this push down, and get your 10, 20, 30, 40 pips, whatever you're aiming for. Remember on yesterday's stream, we talked about pip goals. Don't be afraid to go for more pips. Like, you don't need to have it just because I go for 10 pips doesn't mean you need to go for 10 pips, because going for 10 pips means your stop loss is going to be a lot tighter. So your entries need to be extremely on point, and having just started trading or being under a year, pretty fairly new, you wouldn't expect your entries to be 100% on point. Like, it just comes with time and practice. So don't be afraid to go for 20, 30, 40 pip moves, and work on that patience. But gold, nonetheless, is it a rejection point? Is it that resistance? We'll see if it breaks through or not. We got about 50 minutes before New York session opens, so it might not move too much in this next hour, but we'll see. Only time will tell. That's up to you if you want to trade that rejection or not. GBP news is going on, so this is probably going to do all sorts of craziness. Really no point in looking at what's going on. We can mark our zones. We can update these zones because it is pushing down a little bit more. So we can update these zones. Let's see. We got a nice area right here. See this nice support across the board. Definitely a zone to look at. And then after that, here's another area as well. Long rejection, rejection right here, rejection right here. Tons of rejection areas right in there. And there may be another zone in there, but we'll see what price does. We'll go ahead and take out some of these so our charts aren't all cluttered. Let's go to USD CAD, wait for GBP JPY to do his thing here in a little bit. We do have a nice little uptrend separation on USD CAD. Let's see what the zone would be up here, about right there. Perfect. Now this, the reason I marked it there, long rejection over here, also rejection right here, rejection here, long wick, rejection from the upside, long wick. And if you go straight across the board, you see rejection, 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 and where price is closest to rejection right there as well. So zoom into the hour. There we go. So USD CAD, any type of entry on USD CAD, it's pushing up, pushed up through this zone, pushed to the top, rejected, pushed to the top again, rejected, came all the way to the bottom. So right now it should, because all these rejection wicks right here in this zone, it should continue to push up. So you could zoom in. Let's look at the 30-minute. I would wait, because it doesn't look like at this very moment there's not a setup that's a surefire setup, especially with USD news being in about an hour. This could change drastically, but you see all these rejection wicks right here. You could look to trade it to the upside, especially with it being the slight uptrend that it is. You could enter on a buy at some point in this area right here, and try to enter for your daily pip goal. But right now, there's not like a setup, a guaranteed setup by any means. So that's up to you, because it very well could just bullet right through this thing and blast through like an Atlanta Falcons running back, gassed up through this hole and go for the touchdown down. So who knows what it's going to do, but at this moment I would only look for buys, and I would wait for some sort of push, possibly above this area right here. I'd wait for some sort of push above this area right here before I look for any sort of buys, like a rejection type buy. But nonetheless, it's not a very strong setup on USD CAD this morning. Let's go ahead and look at all USD. This treated us right yesterday, so let's see what it's doing today. 4 hour, it did break down, extremely broke down below our 75 EMA to the downside, and we got a lot of separation there. So currently price is looking like it's on a downtrend. Let's zoom into the hour. Definite downtrend going on. See if we can tighten these up. That's at 68.090. This is a 67. Yeah, let's see. 787. So there could, as you can see, there's like a slight rejection zone in there that it's retesting right there. Let's go ahead and make that red, because it is going to the downside, and it retested that zone. So it looks to be as if it's pushing down right now. So you kind of missed that retest. This would be your retest, and price push below that. So you could enter on a sell here where it's at right now. You just wouldn't want to be caught in. You just want to make sure you close out before that USD news that comes out in a little over an hour. You'd want to close within the next hour. If you sold on odd USD, that's not a bad setup at all. I wouldn't hate you if you took that. There is some rejection points to watch down here, especially on the hour. Zoom into the 30-minute. Yeah, there is lots of rejection right here. So that's up to you if you want to risk that, because it very well could do what it's been doing, and come down to this area and just reject it and then want to go back up. So ideally, if it breaks below these, if it breaks below that area we just looked at, then it should look to continue down. But at the moment, it's kind of at a support. It's kind of at a strong support, or pushing towards that strong support. And USD news could drastically affect that. So again, I personally wouldn't take odd USD this morning. Not really a surefire setup. Like yesterday, we had that nice W pattern, and today it's just not there. So most likely, you may be able to get like 5 pips in there. What is that? 67.882. You may be able to get like 5 pips in there, but it's already starting to reject. So it may come down a little further, and then most likely it's going to reject this zone. And then after that USD news, it's either going to break through this support right here, or it's going to skyrocket back up and try to go on about that uptrend. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I probably wouldn't take anything on odd USD either. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You can still drop your questions in here. I know we got a lot of news, and the markets aren't looking too sexy this morning, but nonetheless, there's always questions to be answered if you have some. So GBP news is going on right now, so give it about another 5 to 10 minutes to see what happens with this. But nonetheless, GBP NZD is on a super strong uptrend, so we would be looking for buys. As long as price doesn't tank, we're definitely looking for buys on GBP NZD. I would wait until this up here. What's that about? It's still about 60 pips away, not even, a little bit over 50 pips away on GBP NZD, but it is at a nice zone. It's retesting this little middle zone in there. So if it rejects that zone, I wouldn't hate you if you bought up to here at all. If it rejects this zone that it's in right here, rejects it with a long wick, zoom in, rejects this zone across the board. If it rejects it, look for a buy to the upside, or to be even safer, wait till it sets a new high in this trend and breaks above this area, retest this area, and then pushes up. But I wouldn't be mad at you if you bought somewhere in this area, because you see all these long rejections right here. This is an extremely long rejection, showing price did not want to go to the downside just yet. You got rejection here in this zone, multiple rejection touches here in this zone, and then both of these right here. So it's looking like it's going to push down, but most likely, I mean, there's no most likely. We'll see what it does. If it rejects this zone right here and starts to push back up, you could definitely enter a buy, and then you just want to make sure you're, just paying attention. News is going to be done soon, so you should be clear to go after this does what it's going to do in this candle right here. I would wait for this candle to close because it's a long hammer to the downside, so I don't know what it plans on doing, but I would wait until about 6:30 a.m. I'm on Central Time, so it's about 7:30 Eastern. So I would wait until this candle finishes, and then you can decide on one of these next following candles. Yusuf, what pair are you talking about right now? What pair are you looking at? Wait maybe for the next candle to be bearish and go below previous low wick. Which pair are you talking about? Yeah, it'll definitely be safe. Correct. GJ will be good to trade again after this 30-minute candle closes for sure, because all the GBP news will be done. Now USD news may affect it a little bit, but I wouldn't be too scared of it. I would just make sure I'm not in anything USD when that news comes out. But GBP, all that important news will be done in the next 12 minutes. So let's go ahead and look at GJ then one more time. Yeah, this candle would be a nice sell. You are correct, because it broke this zone right here. So after this 30-minute candle closes, you could definitely get a nice sell in here. Somewhere in this area right here, you could look to sell. Now that's up to you as the trader. But somewhere in this area right here, after this candle closes, you could look to sell GJ. And it's a strong uptrend on the 4-hour. So it's not really any confluence going on, because if you go to the 4-hour, it's clear separation. And this could just be a retest for it to fake you out and then go back up. This is why I don't trade against the trend normally, almost at all, unless it's like gold or US 30. But most of the time when it's just a regular Forex pair like this, you want to trade the trend, or you could get potentially faked out, because if you go into the hour, it's on the downside, but overall trend, what's already in motion tends to stay in motion. So this is definitely going up, but we'll see what happens. As of right now, because of the breakout to the downside and all the news, it could definitely continue down. So I would wait about 11 minutes for this candle to close, and then you can look for sell entries, or if you're not comfortable trading against the trend, then obviously wait until price pushes back up here somewhere. At this moment though, definitely wait for this candle to close though, because news could start to shit on GJ altogether. Don't feel like you're missing out on money, because we all leave money on the table. Over 5 trillion a day. Kelly, you're gonna have to come on live. GBP news. Right, about 10 more minutes and then GJ will be good to go. Gold is breaking through that resistance, so again, gold likes to do what it wants to do. As we could tell yesterday, what it dropped from about 15.0, I mean it was at like 15.11, and dropped all the way down to one point at 14.83. So almost 300 pips gold moved yesterday from this point. If it would have been at 15.13 to 14.83, that would have been 30 pips. So that's crazy. Or not 30 pips, that would have been 300 pips. 300 pips it almost dropped yesterday. So it went well over 200 pips on that drop yesterday. So a lot of people either made a whole lot of money or lost a whole lot of money, or didn't trade it at all. Like me, I didn't touch it at all. So that's what I mean by we're all going to leave money on the table, because you could have made a whole bunch of money through here, or you could have lost a whole lot of money through there. So I mean, it's better to leave money on the table than lose money out of your pockets. That's for damn sure. So I don't mind leaving money on the table at all, because I mean, hell, Donald Trump, tons of millionaires and billionaires out here making all the money, making a ton of money. That's not my money, so that's money left on the table. So you get used to leaving money on the table. That's just looking at what other people are doing. Focus on your pockets and do what you can to elevate each day. That's all you can do. Put your best foot forward each day in trading and life and relationships and everything. So I don't care about this happening at all. Yes, it's cool. Like, wow, you look at it, you're like, damn, that moved a lot. But I mean, I wasn't a part of it, so who cares? All right. Any questions this morning, or we just waiting to see what's going on? See, GJ is going crazy. He doesn't know what it wants to do. Doesn't know if it wants to go down, go up. It's definitely at that support in this zone, though. Definitely at a little small support zone. So now we wait to see what it wants to do. Overall, the trend is an uptrend on the 4-hour with lots of separation. So ideally, we would look for it to go up, but it has been breaking out to the downside. Now, if it starts to push back up above this breakout candle, then we can start talking buy opportunities. Right now, though, if it pushes on these next candles, if it starts to push below this zone, you look to sell. No questions this morning? Also, while we're in here, go ahead, do me a favor, just to amuse me and show me that you're watching. Go to the bottom of the YouTube description and tap that thumbs up button. I just want to see how many people are actually paying attention when I'm talking right now. So tap that thumbs up button on the YouTube stream right now. Scroll down a little bit. It's right below the video. Tap the thumbs up button, and that'll just let me know that people were watching and paying attention when I'm talking. If not, it's still all love. I'm not gonna hate you for not tapping the thumbs up button. Yeah, nonetheless, all USD definitely could be a sale coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, you could definitely look to sell all USD at some point coming up. I would definitely wait until this 30-minute candle is closed, and then you can look for your opportunities. But ideally, if it pushes below this area, would be the smart sell. If you sell right now, you're most likely gonna get, or you could get caught up in this junk right here on the support where it rejected, so you could sell and then it starts to bounce back up on you. You don't want to have that. So you want as many confirmations as possible, and when price pushes below where it's typically been rejecting and starts setting new lows for this time, then that'd be a good sell. Right now it would not be. Gold's pushing up. See, gold has no idea what it wants to do. It did all that work to drop yesterday. Now it's doing all this work to climb the mountain back up. Look like it's climbing Everest. So who knows what gold's gonna do. I wouldn't trade gold at all until after that USD news comes out. So I wouldn't trade gold for at least the next hour and a half. Do not trade gold for like an hour and a half, because it could skyrocket right now and there's no way of predicting what it's about to do. Let's go ahead and delete that thing altogether. It's pushing through there. So, but again, you guys are gonna trade how you want to trade. Y'all over here dropping thumbs up emojis, not knowing there's a thumbs up button. Alright, so it looks like we don't have any questions at this moment. We're pretty much just waiting for news to happen. So I'm going to jump over to the Telegram chat, and we'll just wait and see what goes on in the markets. And if you see something before I see something, let us know in the chat, and then I'll break it down however I see best fit. Again, it's Thursday, Thirsty Thursdays. Don't be out there acting a fool. But again, you're not here for life lessons. You're here for trading. So I'll see you guys in the Telegram chat. Hopefully I can help you go over a couple setups this morning. Do I see Euro? Can I see Euro GBP? Yes, I can. Good catch, real quick. Euro GBP. I took that off a couple days ago because it was acting up. So remember, when we add a pair on TradingView, look for the ICE exchange. All the exchanges are right here, like your FXCMs, your Rwanda, your ICE, your Saxo, stuff like that. Go for the ICE. Matches up the best with the with Hugo's way. So let's see, on the 4-hour, we got it marked up. Definitely a downtrend. Let's clear this thing. Looking a little funky. 4-hour downtrend. Confluence, no. Crossed over on the hour. So Euro GBP is pushing up right now. Also has GBP in it, so I would wait until this 30-minute candle closes. Let's mark a zone real quick, closest to where price is currently at. This looks like a good one right here. All this rejection area. You may not get it exactly on the line, but if you get it as close to those wicks as possible. Rejection here, which is why I marked it from the upside. Also long rejection from the upside here as well. And then from the downside, you got this right here. So that's your zone. It looks like it's pushing towards resistance. It's still about a little under 20 pips away from resistance, but it is a downtrend on the 4-hour overall. So to the downside, you'd have something. Let's see if we have anything to the left. We got to zoom out. About right. Let's see. Get this out the way. Definitely across the board. Rejection here. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Long rejection here. That zone is that's about 60 pips in between this 88,410 area and this 8,900 area. So that's about 40 pips or 60 pips for you right there. This zone right here, so that's a solid zone. There may be a little something going on in here. There may be a slight bit of rejection, but nonetheless, you'd want to look for. That's up to you as a trader. I would wait until one of these zones is approached before you look for anything. So if it breaks above this zone, this resistance, if it breaks above that, you can look for a buy. Breaks above that, retest, and then you know the drill. If it breaks above that, start to look for buys. If it breaks below the support right here, you can start to look for sells on Euro GBP right now. Just because there is no confluence, meaning the 4-hour and the hour do not have the same trend going on. Then if you zoom into the 30-minute, it's up, but it's getting closer and closer to that resistance. So I wouldn't trade anything until either this resistance is broken above or this support is broken below. So if this gets broken above, you look for whatever signals you look for. I wait for the retest and then the push before I buy. And then if it breaks below this, I wait for the retest and the push down below the wick before I sell. So that's what's going on Euro GBP. No setup at this time. Just wait until one of these zones is broken at 0.89035 and 0.88 that around the 400 area. So that's what's going on that. See if anything happened on GBP while I'm in here. No, see, it's still pushing up. So there's really a lot of indecision going on in the market right now. Let's look at US 30 real quick. I know news will be coming out in a little bit. I would love to trade US 30. I just haven't in a couple days because you see all this going on. So it's pretty funky. Yeah, it's just moving side to side, side to side, especially on the hour. There's no real way of seeing what it's going to do until it breaks out of either most likely this zone or this up here. So I wouldn't trade US 30 most likely until it breaks above this, and that would be green for buys, or below this. And even this I would watch out for because that's a lot of rejection right there. So US 30 is pretty stagnant right now, so I definitely am not trading that this morning. All right, I'm gonna jump over to the Telegram chat. Let me know if you guys see any setups you'd like me to look over there. As always, hopefully this helped, and I appreciate y'all watching. Let's get it.